Good day, ma'am. I am Alfonso Labra from BAT 3A, and I'm going to report food preservation. Food preservation. Food preservation can be defined as the process of treating and handling food in such a way as to stop or greatly slow down spoilage and prevent foodborne illness while maintaining nutritional value, texture, and flavor from food spoilage and microorganisms. Food preservation is the maintenance of safe and nutritious food for an extended period of time. Example of preserved foods include properly packaged, refrigerated, frozen canned, and dried products. The primary objectives of the food preservation is to prevent food spoilage until it can be consumed. Among the oldest methods of preservation are salting, drying, refrigeration, and fermentation. The modern ways now are canning, pasteurization, freezing, irradiation, and the additional of chemicals. There are two types of food preservation, the physical and the chemical preservation. The physical preservation such as dehydration or drying, refrigeration and freezing, vacuuming, smoking, canning and pasteurization. Drying or dehydrating. Food is a method of food preservation that removes enough moisture from the food so bacteria, yeast, and molds cannot grow. Freezing in food processing method of preserving food by lowering the temperature to inhibit microorganism growth. Most commercial freezing is done neither in cold air kept in motion by fans or by placing the foodstuff in package or meat trays on refrigerated surface or refrigerator. Vacuum packing is a packaging process that preserves food by creating a vacuum that removes the air before sealing, preventing the growth of microorganisms. All vacuum packaged food should be clearly labeled and dated to manage the preservation process. Smoking process is removing the moisture from food, helps prevent bacterial and fungal growth which would ruin store foods. Smoking is a method of drying that also imparts flavor to the food, and smoke helps keep bacteria carrying insects away during the drying process. Pasteurization, heat treatment process that destroy pathogenic microorganism in a certain food and beverages. The treatment also destroy most of the microorganism and cause spoilage and so prolong the storage of food time. Canning. Canning method of preserving food from spoilage by storing in the container that hermetically sealed and then sterilized by heat. The process was invented after prolonged research by Nicolas Appert of France in 1809 in response to call by his government for a means of preserving food for army and navy use. Here are the following chemical preservation methods. First, sugaring. Sugaring is a food preservation method similar to pickling. Sugaring is the process of desiccating a food by first dehydrating it, then pickling it with pure sugar. Sugaring creates an environment hostile to microbial life. Sugaring is commonly used to preserve fruits as well as vegetables such as ginger. Salting method. Salting is a method of preserving food that was more common before modern generation. So it is the oldest method. Salting preserve food by drawing water out of the food, preventing bacterial growing and spoiling the food is surrounded in salt and left in a cold, dry place. Vinegar, because of its low pH acetic acid content, vinegar used to preserve foods, both domestic use in many variety of product such as vegetables, fish product, fruits and spices, and also included the meat. Lastly, spices and wood smoking in food preservation. It removing the moisture from food helps prevent bacterial and fungal growth which would ruin stored food. Smoking is a method of drying that also imparts flavor to the food, usually meat, and smoke helps keep bacterial carry insects and away the drying process. There are no difference between smoking and spices and wood smoking. It is still using wood to burn to preserve the food. But here in spice and wood smoking, uh, there is added spices to make the meat more delicious and more flavored. That's all for my report. Thank you for listening. Bye bye.